You wake up already tired. Your body feels heavy, your mind is busy, and even simple tasks seem harder than they should be. Maybe you tell yourself you are just stressed, or lazy, or behind in life. But what if the real problem is not your willpower or your personality? What if your brain is still stuck in survival mode, even though the danger is no longer here? Survival mode is not just a phrase. It is a state your brain and nervous system enter when they believe you are not safe. It is useful when something truly dangerous is happening, an accident, an attack, a crisis. In those moments, survival mode helps you react fast. But when your brain gets stuck there for months or years, it stops protecting you and starts quietly destroying your quality of life. In survival mode, your brain does not care about your dreams, your goals, or your long-term growth. It cares about getting through the next hour with the least possible pain. That is why, when you are stuck in this state, things like planning, learning, changing your habits, or building deeper relationships feel almost impossible. Not because you are broken, but because your system is not focused on living. It is focused on not dying. For many people, survival mode becomes the default so slowly they do not even notice. It might start with one overwhelming period in life: financial stress, a breakup, illness, family conflict, burnout. Your nervous system adapts to that intense phase and turns on all the alarms. The problem is that, after the crisis passes, no one teaches your body how to turn those alarms off again. So you keep moving through the world with a brain that acts like everything is an emergency. You might notice it in your body: tight shoulders, shallow breathing, clenched jaw, racing heart, constant stomach issues. You might notice it in your behavior: scrolling for hours, emotional eating, overworking, isolating, snapping at people you love, or freezing when you need to act. All of these can be survival strategies. One of the clearest signs of survival mode is that your window of tolerance gets very small. Little things set you off: a text message, a change in plans, an unexpected bill, someone's tone of voice. You either explode inside, or you shut down completely. You might think, why am I so dramatic? Why can't I handle anything? But it is not drama. It is a nervous system that is already overloaded. Another sign is that your inner world becomes very black and white. Things feel like all good or all ruined. People are either safe or dangerous. One mistake means I am a failure. One rejection means no one will ever love me. Survival mode does not like nuance. It wants quick, simple judgments that tell it whether to fight, run, or freeze. You might also notice that joy and rest feel strangely unsafe. When something good happens, part of you cannot relax into it. You wait for the bad news, for the problem, for the moment it all disappears. When you finally have time to rest, your body becomes restless. You feel guilty for doing nothing. You look for a new task, a new crisis, a new distraction. Calm feels unfamiliar, even threatening. This is confusing because, from the outside, your life may look fine. You have a job, a home, maybe relationships. Yet inside, you feel like you are always one step away from collapse. You live with a quiet sense of doom. You imagine worst-case scenarios out of habit. You cannot enjoy where you are because your brain is constantly scanning for what might go wrong next. If you grew up in an unsafe or unpredictable environment, survival mode might be the oldest state your body knows. Maybe there was addiction, violence, emotional neglect, poverty, or chronic conflict around you. As a child, you had to be hyper-aware, ready for anything. Your nervous system learned that being relaxed was not safe. So now, as an adult, you may still live with that same level of alertness, even if your current life is more stable. Trauma is not only about what happened to you, it is also about what did not happen. The comfort you did not receive, the safety you did not feel, the repair that never came after a fight. When those needs are missing for a long time, your nervous system quietly decides, we are on our own. We cannot fully trust people. We must always be ready. That is the root of long-term survival mode. So how do you know if your brain is stuck there? You can ask yourself a few simple questions. Do I wake up already feeling behind? Do I feel guilty when I rest? Do small problems feel like huge threats? Do I constantly expect something bad to happen? Do I struggle to plan or imagine a future because I am just trying to get through the week? If many of those are yes, survival mode might be running the show. The good news is, your brain is not frozen forever. The same system that learned to live in constant alert can slowly learn that it is allowed to stand down. But this does not happen through shaming or forcing yourself. It happens through consistent signals of safety and care that your body can actually feel, not just hear as nice words. One of the first steps is simply naming what is happening. Instead of saying, "I am lazy," "I am crazy," or "I am a mess," you can say, "My nervous system is in survival mode." That might sound small, but it changes the whole frame. You stop viewing yourself as a moral failure and start seeing a nervous system doing its best with the tools it has. The next step is to widen your window of tolerance in very small ways. Survival mode loves extremes: overworking or crashing, bottling emotions, or exploding. Your job is to practice tiny, safe experiences of in-between. That might look like taking a 2-minute break before you are completely exhausted, or noticing a wave of emotion and letting yourself feel 5% of it, instead of either numbing or drowning. Your body is a powerful entry point here. When your brain is stuck in survival, talking yourself into calm rarely works by itself. But physical cues can slowly convince your system that it is not in danger. Simple practices like feeling your feet on the floor, unclenching your jaw, placing a hand on your chest, lengthening your exhale, or looking around the room and naming what you see can send signals of present moment safety. Relationships also matter more than we like to admit. Survival mode often developed because people were not safe. Healing often happens when at least one person becomes safe. That might be a therapist, a close friend, a partner, or a community. Small experiences of being seen, heard, and not punished for your feelings can slowly rewire your expectations of connection. Another powerful shift is to stop building your life only around crisis energy. Many of us learn to move only when there is a fire to put out. Deadlines, drama, emergencies. Without a crisis, we feel empty or lost. Gently, you can start to build routines that are based on care, not crisis. A regular bedtime, meals at consistent times, a short daily reflection, movement that feels kind instead of punishing. You may also need to renegotiate your relationship with productivity. In survival mode, your worth becomes tied to how much you do, fix, or manage. Rest feels like failure. The problem is that this keeps your nervous system on high alert forever. Practicing guilt-tolerant rest is essential. That means letting yourself rest even while guilt talks in the background, and not waiting for the guilt to disappear first. Sometimes, survival mode is kept alive by environments and relationships that are still unsafe. If you are in chronic financial insecurity, an abusive dynamic, or a job that constantly violates your boundaries, your system is getting daily evidence that danger is real. In those cases, healing also includes, as much as possible, changing the external conditions, not just your inner dialogue. There is no quick hack to turn off survival mode, but there are small, consistent choices that tell your brain, we are not in that old place anymore. You can notice one moment a day where you feel slightly less tense and actually name it. You can celebrate tiny acts of self-protection, like saying no once, or going to bed 15 minutes earlier. You can remind yourself, nothing terrible is happening right now. This feeling is old. Over time, something begins to shift. You may still feel the pull of survival mode, but it is not the only voice. You notice you can pause before reacting. You can feel a big emotion and not be swallowed by it. You can enjoy a good moment for a few more seconds before your brain runs back to scanning for danger. That is what healing often looks like from the inside. Less intensity, more space. If your brain is stuck in survival mode, it is not because you failed at being normal. It is because, at some point, this was the smartest way your system knew to keep you alive. You can honor that old strategy and still choose new ones. You are allowed to build a life that is not just about getting through the day, but about actually being here for it. Subscribe for more on trauma, the nervous system, and deep mind patterns. Like if this helped you see your bad habits as survival strategies. Share it with someone who is always on edge and thinks that is just their personality.